Welcome back everyone to the next installment in our series on making a platform game in Unity. This is Mike Page with Scripting is Fun. In this video we're going to be putting in some pickups. So we've got some different food items in our sprite sheet here. We're going to put them in our level and we're going to make those give us some health back. So if we lose health, we can pick one of those up. If we pick it up, it'll give us a little bit of health. That's the idea. So the first thing we need to do is go into our sprite sheet. So we're going to go here to our sprite sheet. We're going to go to the sprite editor and we're going to find the small items. So they're actually right here in our spreadsheet. Okay, now I've already kind of gone in and made these sprites, but if I go back in and kind of delete some of this, I'll show you what I did. So the first thing you need to do is there's going to be a sprite kind of over the whole square like there is over here. So you just click on it and you hit delete to clear it out. That way we can make each of these individual sprites. And these are pretty tiny, so we're going to have to zoom in a bit. And then you can just click and drag a selection box around these shapes, and then Unity will take those out as individual sprites. So you can just click and drag around the shapes. If you get too big or too small, you can just grab one of the edges here. Make sure you get the blue ones. If you grab the green, that does something different. Grab the blue lines and just snug them in right on the outlines of the shape there. And let's just kind of grab several of these. And we'll just get these so that they can be sliced out of our sprite sheet. Let's get this chicken leg here as well. Okay, so now I have all of these. I'm just going to hit apply up here. And now these will show up in my sprite sheet. So I'm going to close the sprite editor. Now if I open my sprite sheet here, we're going to have to scroll down a ways here till we find the small items. They're pretty tiny. Oops, I think I just saw one here. Here's the small items. Here's like the French fries. Okay? So let's find some of these and drag them out into the scene and make them into some prefabs. So I'm going to drag some French fries out here and drop them in the scene. Let's find the next one. They're going to kind of be scattered around in here. So go ahead and find them all and drag them out into the scene. I'm going to do the same and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I've found all of those sprites here. I'm zooming in on them a bit so we can see them. They are pretty tiny, but I think they'll be alright. So we have all of these dragged out here into the scene. Let's give them all names that make sense. So this is French fries. And this is a hamburger. And then let's get the bottle. So what do we have? We have a bottle. Okay, so bottle. And then we have a donut. And this is a can. So this is like, let's call this can. This is kind of a orange or a yellow can. And then this one here is a red can. So we'll just call it can red. Okay, and then let's see, did we get this guy? Nope, we got to get our chicken. And then we have what? Some sort of a drink here. Whoops. And we'll call this drink. Maybe we'll. Okay. So there we go. We've got all of our different sprites named here. We're going to need to put trigger colliders on these so that we can pick them up. So let's just see if we can do this all at once. If I click the first one and then hold shift down and click the last one, that selects all of these at the same time. I should be able to go over here now and do add component, physics 2D, and then I want let's just put a box collider around all these. So we'll do box colliders. And what the box collider will do, and you see they all popped on here, is they'll just follow the outline of the shape, and that should be fine. We also want to make sure we mark all these as triggers. So check is trigger. So it should have done this to all of them at the same time. Let's just go through and check a few. Yep, it's fine here. And it looks like it did it for all of them like it was supposed to. So now we have colliders and triggers. Now the other thing we're going to want is a tag on these, so when we touch them we know what they are, because maybe later on you want to add more items that do different things. So let's show you how to set this up. So again, I'm going to click on the first one, shift click the last one to get them all. Let's go up here to tag. We're going to go to add tag, and then in the tag manager here we're going to add ourselves a new tag. We'll call this food, and we'll save that. And then we got to go back out here, and actually I got to select them all again. And then I can go up here and I can tag these all as food. So now all of these will have the food tag, and they've got colliders, so they're ready to go. Okay, now we want to make all these into prefabs. So let's go to our prefabs folder. Let's go ahead and make a new folder inside of here, and let's call this food, since there's several of them. Okay, so now let's just grab these one at a time here and drag them into our food folder, and that will make them into prefabs. So just dragging them down into my food folder. They turn blue up in the hierarchy because that shows me that they have been made into a prefab. Again, a prefab is just a master copy of a game object that we save in our project that we can then make copies of. Alright, so we got this food. Let's just spread some of this food around here in our scene now. So we can just grab some of this food, and you notice how it's going behind some of the scenery here as I drag it around. Let's make sure all these guys are set to the correct layer. So again, I can just do this all at once by group selecting them. Okay, let's go to the sprite renderer here, and let's go to our sorting layer, and these should all be in the foreground layer. That way they'll draw in front of anything else. Okay, so now if I grab like the French fries here and drag them around, they're going to stay in the front, so we'll be able to see them in front of all the other items in here. Okay, so let's drag these around a little bit. Let's put some French fries maybe over here, and let's put a shake, maybe up here somewhere. People just leaving food all over the place in our games. I don't know if it's very sanitary picking food up off of the ground here like that, but let's just kind of spread some of this around. See, we did the can. Okay, there's our red can. Let's see if I can grab it. It's hard to do this sometimes when you're really zoomed out, so we'll just kind of position them around. We probably wouldn't want to put this much food in our actual level, but we just want to test them all to see if they're working. Then you can position them creatively however you like in your level. Okay, there we go. So we've got our food all spread around. So now what we need to do is when our player walks in to one of these food items, so when his collider here, his capsule collider hits one of these box colliders, we want it to send a message that we hit something, and if it's food, we want to add some life to our, or some health to our health bar. Okay? So let's set that up. We've got everything on the Unity side set, so we just have to go into our script. And in the script, we want to have another function here, and we already have it, our onTriggerEnter2D function. So we're already using this to see if we've run into a checkpoint to set our checkpoint, so when we die we respawn there. So let's just add another section here to this. So we're just going to ask the question if the other thing we just collided with, if it has a tag, so compare tag, and the tag is food, then we want to pick that food up. So we want it to disappear. We're going to go ahead and just remove it from our scene. Add to our health. So health plus equals, and then we can make a variable that would store how much food is worth. We could have each food item have their own values. That would be a little more scripting. For now we're just going to keep it easy. Let's just go ahead and hard code in like a 5 here. So we can restore 5 health points, and health is now a float number, so we need to include the F after here to make sure that the computer knows this is supposed to be a float. Then what we can do is we can just remove that food. So we're going to use the destroy command. And what do we want to destroy? We want to destroy the other game object, like that. That will cause that game object to be removed. Okay, and of course we could do a little particle poof, or we could do a little sound effect or something like that. The other thing we're going to want to do, if we're affecting our health here, we actually want to update our health bar. So at this point we are updating the health bar right here when we lose some health and when we respawn and everything. So since we're using this in multiple places, we probably ought to make a little function that handles our adjusting our health slider. I mean, we could copy and paste this down here, and then we'd have the code in 2 spots. Why don't we make a little function here though? So let's go up here below respawn. Let's just make a new void function. We'll call this update health bar. And then all we want it to do is this right here. Okay, so let's copy that line and let's put it in here. Okay, so we might get fancier here later on when we update the health bar as well. Then what we can do is we can just replace this line with a function call to our update health bar function. Alright, and then we can do the same thing down here for we want to update our health bar. So we're going to go ahead and add health. We'll go ahead and call update health bar here to reflect that change to our health, and then we'll just destroy the game object. That way anywhere else where we want to change our health up or down, we can just call update health bar, and as long as we've affected our health first, it'll do the math for us and we'll be good to go. Alright, so that should be about all we need to do. Let's save this and go out and test it, make sure we've thought of everything. Alright, let's hit play. And when I walk over some of this food, we should see our health get affected. So maybe we need to go lose some health first, but let's go ahead and just see if we can pick one up. Okay, see it disappeared. Alright, let's go ahead and jump over some of this food here, and let's lose a little bit of health here. Alright, so we've lost some health. Let's go down and pick up some food. Boop, there it goes. We did that. Now, I don't think we can see our health as a public variable, but there is one thing we might want to consider, and that is it's probably possible right now for our health to get bigger than our max health. So we do have to fix that. So let's go into our script here, and let's make sure that when we add to our health here, that we check to see if we've exceeded our max health. Okay? So otherwise we'll end up with extra health here. So we can say if health is greater than max health, then we've got too much health, right? So then let's just set health equal to max health, and now we won't be able to exceed our maximum health. Alright, so always good to make sure you test that thoroughly, and now it should be good. We'll save it. Everything is working fine here now. Okay, so there we go. We've added in a little power up or a little pickup for health, so we can pick up this food and get ourselves some health back, and that should be good. And we've got some variety in the type of health we have. Alright, so kind of a bit of a shorter video this time, but that was a pretty good chunk there. So as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments below, and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. Hope you're enjoying the series. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.